Hi, this is Coach Charles. Just wanted to share a couple of things with you today, some thoughts I had on my mind. I've looked about our society, and one of the things I've noticed is that there's a lot more depression and hopelessness than I can recall seeing in my earlier years. And I've asked myself, why is this so? Why are so many people depressed? Why are so many people living without hope? Why are so many people giving up on themselves? Why are so many people giving up on life? This seems to be especially true for our young people. Teen depression and suicide is growing at rates faster than ever before. And what's most interesting to me is that their depression is rising at a time when they have all or most of the most fun material things that this world has to offer. Another thing I've noticed is that people don't have the similar faith as older generations used to have. And again, I ask myself why. Perhaps the answer is found in the 78th Psalm, where it says in Psalm 78, verses 5 through 7, "For he issued his laws to Jacob, he gave his instructions to Israel, he commanded our ancestors to teach them to their children, so the next generation might know them, even the children not yet born, and they in turn would teach their own children." So each generation should set its hope anew on God, not forgetting his glorious miracles and obeying his commands. Now this scripture tells us that parents are to teach the next generation about who God is and what God has done. The point of the instruction is that every generation needs to have a historical perspective on the works of God, and so they can develop a set of expectations for their lives and for the future. Faith does not happen simply because one grows up in a house or home of faith. Children develop faith when they are engaged in a family that lives according to its faith and actively teaches the tenets of the faith to the next generation. That means that fathers and mothers should develop some mechanism in the family that are designed to teach their children to practice their faith beyond the rituals. They need to know that faith is not just going to the house of worship. Faith is not just giving of our time, our talent, and our treasure. They need to know how to pray. They need to know how to listen for the answer to prayer. Parents are to teach their children that they can trust God and how to put their trust in God. In Joshua chapter 4, verses 6 through 7, there's a concept that few of us practice that I want to encourage you to begin to practice. It says the following: "In the future, your children will ask you, 'What do these stones mean?' Then you can tell them, 'They remind us that the Jordan River stopped flowing when the Ark of the Lord's covenant went across. These stones will stand as a memorial among the people of Israel forever.'" They put reminders up to tell the next generations what God had done. Now here's the question: what are the reminders in your home? What are the landmarks in your life that teach your children to understand the places and times when God has worked a miracle in your life? In our society, we often focus on giving material things to our children, but have neglected to focus on the spiritual. Maybe now is the time to develop a spiritual legacy that will sustain your children throughout their lives, long after the Xbox is gone. I hope this helps. Take care.